Welcome to Yoga Mama. We'll begin our postpartum yoga practice today by standing with our back against the wall. And you're going to have your mat set up with the short side of your mat already touching the wall. So once you have your back against the wall, make sure that your heels are forward from the wall just a little bit so that you can just lean back and let the wall support your posture. Now feel that you have your tailbone stretching slightly down toward the floor. And the crown of your head is reaching up toward the ceiling. And there's just a little bit of curve between your lower back and the wall. So you might be able to fit your hand between the low back and the wall, or at least a few fingers there. And this should help to bring a little bit of tone and engagement to your core muscle and keep that tone across the belly as we begin some Ujjayi breathing. So you can let your arms relax, maybe even push the backs of your hands against the wall. All 5 fingernails on each hand pressing into the wall to help broaden across your chest. And push your feet into the ground. As you reach the crown of your head toward the ceiling, bring your chin slightly down toward the front of your throat without letting the back of your head leave the wall. Now inhale slowly through your nose, letting the breath drag across the back of the throat. And exhale through the nose, but feel as though you're sighing the breath out. And continue to breathe in this way. It will be most comfortable for your mouth if your tongue is resting right behind the top row of teeth, right where they meet the roof of your mouth. And then let the back of your tongue soften. With each inhale, focus on stretching your tailbone a little further down toward the ground and reaching the crown of your head a little higher. And with each exhale, visualize zipping up your belly from your pubic bone to your sternum and drawing your abdominal muscles back toward your spine. So even though it appears that you're just standing here, you should feel pretty active. Lots of your muscles working to keep you standing solid and upright. Now to help you keep this shape in your lumbar spine, you can bring your hands to the front of your abdomen with your thumbs touching the bottom of your rib cage and your pinkies touching the top of your hips. And make sure that this space stays nice and firm. And this will help you to make sure that your back doesn't come into more of an arch. We want to keep that little curve in the lumbar spine. Now inhale and let your head tilt back so the crown of your head touches to the ceiling. Your chin is up. And then exhale, slide the back of your head to where the crown is reaching up and your chin is down, like you're trying to make a double chin, but your head does not leave the wall. And again, inhale, head back. Exhale, head down. Keep going. Inhale, head tilts back, chin up. The head's just sliding along the wall, never leaves. And then on the exhale, as the crown of the head reaches up and the chin is down, draw the chin back. And remember to zip up through your belly. And again. With our next 5 breaths on your exhales, also think about lifting at the pelvic floor or a feeling of trying to close off all the openings at the bottom of the pelvis and drawing those muscles up into your body. Three more. Keep the tops of the shoulders soft. And remember to keep your back, your upper back pressing into the wall so your rib cage is never jutting forward of your hips. Now bring your head to neutral so it's not tilted back nor is it down. And keep the same feeling through your core as you take your arms out to the side with your elbows bent. So we're in kind of a goalpost or cactus shape with the arms. Now, without letting your arms leave the wall, inhale and slide the arms up, straightening them as much as feels comfortable. Be really aware of the rib cage. Don't let it jut forward. And then exhale to bring your elbows out to shoulder height again. And keep going. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms come down to shoulder height. And this time, again, we'll start the same. Inhale to reach the arms up. Now, as you exhale, bring your elbows down a little bit more and let your hands fan out. So you're kind of making a W shape with your arms. And really squeeze together the shoulder blades, again, without letting the ribs jut forward. And let's keep going there. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, that W shape with the arms. Really squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Zip up through the belly. 3 more. All right, relax your arms down. You can take just a step or 2 forward away from the wall and turn to your left so that your left hand can touch to the wall. We want our thumb pointing up. The rest of the fingers are pointed back. And the feet are right below the hips. You're still standing in mountain pose, just having the left arm extended. Now turn slowly with your feet so that you're rotating your chest away from the wall, your whole front body turning away from the wall. And when you feel a comfortable stretch through the left shoulder and arm, you can turn your chin to look over the right shoulder and take a few full breaths here. Keep the fingers spread wide apart on the left hand and really press your palm into the wall. Still breathing your Ujjayi breath. Still feeling for that sense of really engaging your core with each exhale, like you're zipping up the midline of your abdomen. And maybe even feeling for that lift of the pelvic floor with each exhale as well. And with your next exhale, release the left arm down by your side. Just notice how you feel from side to side. And let's turn to face the right side of the mat. Same thing, the right hand to the wall, the thumb is pointed up, the rest of the fingers pointed back. And then with your feet balanced right below your hips, you can slowly turn the feet little by little away from the wall. So eventually your toes might point toward the front of your mat. And when you feel a comfortable stretch, just pause there. It doesn't need to be intense. And you can look over the left shoulder to deepen the stretch for the right side of your neck. And take a few full breaths. And with your exhale, turn so that you're facing the wall. Bring your hands to about the height of your belly or the height of your hips and walk your feet back so that you come into about a 90-degree angle, folding at the hips. So your feet can be just below your hips, hands maybe a little higher than the hips, much like down dog. And you can start to bend one knee at a time to stretch through the backs of your legs. Now with both legs fairly straight, really push into the wall with your hands, stretch your hips back, and feel some strength coming through your core as you pull your navel up away from the ground. Inhale and shift your weight to your right foot so you can lift your left leg into the air. You can bend the left knee, open your hips to the side if that feels okay. If it's a little bit much, you can keep both feet down. Now really stretch your tailbone toward your pubic bone so you're keeping length in the low back, lots of strength in the core. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale, bring your left foot forward toward the wall and have your knee centered above your ankle. If you feel like this is kind of a short stance for warrior one for you, you can step the right foot a little further back and take your hands behind your back, either reaching for opposite wrist or you can clasp your hands and draw the shoulder blades back so you can open across the chest. Inhale, lift your heart, maybe take your head gently back. Take a few breaths here, drawing your belly back toward your spine again and again with each exhale. One more breath. And release that clasp of your hands. Bring your hands back to the wall. And then you can step your left foot back and have both feet right below the hips again. And back to this wall dog pose. Now inhale, lift your right leg into the air. You can keep the hips level, or you can open the hips, stacking the right hip over the left. Remember to stretch your tailbone toward your pubic bone so the low back stays long, core engaged, and breathe. Next, exhale, bring your right foot forward toward the wall. Align your knee above your ankle. Feel free to keep the hands at the wall. Also feel free to lengthen your stance and step the left foot a little further back. And then if you'd like to, you can bring the hands behind the back. If you're clasping the hands, try the opposite pinky on top this time just to keep the shoulders balanced. And draw the shoulder blades back. Each inhale, feel your rib cage float up away from your hips. And on your exhales, let the tops of the shoulders soften as you engage through your core. Maybe take your head gently back to open a little further through the neck and throat. One more breath. And then bring your hands to the wall. And you can step the right foot back and then step the left foot forward a bit and walk both feet slowly toward the wall so that you can bring your forearms to the wall. And we want the elbows to be about the height of the shoulders, maybe a little higher. And with your knees bent, you can let your hips reach back, let your chest sink toward the ground. You're welcome to rest your forehead on the wall or keep it a little bit away from the wall. And take a few breaths here. Really looking for some opening through the chest, the shoulders, and the underarms. One more breath. Now as you start to move your head and chest away from the wall, you can release the clasp of your hands and relax the arms. Now you can turn to your left and take a seat. As you come down to sit, you might want to be on a cushion. Just a blanket or a pillow will do. So that way your hips can tilt just slightly forward and you can have that natural curve in your lower back again. So you can let your back rest against the wall and just take a moment to create some length in your spine by getting really grounded through your sitting bones and allow the crown of your head to reach up. Now you can bring your right hand down to the ground, and with your left palm facing up, inhale and slide your arm up the wall so your upper arm comes alongside your ear. And each exhale, see if you can lean a little further to the right, crawling the right fingertips out, away from the right hip. And feel that your sit bones remain equally rooted down. Bringing some space through the left side body. Take a few full breaths here. With your exhalations, be reminded to let go mentally of any distractions, physically release any tension that arises in the body. One more breath here. And then release the left arm down. Let that bring you back up to the center. And we'll take that to the other side. So you can bring the left hand down to the floor with the right palm facing up. Inhale and stretch the right arm up alongside your ear. And each exhale, begin leaning a little further to the left until you find a comfortable stretch. Now be sure to keep the back of your body leaning up against the wall. The sitting bones equally rooted down. One more breath here. And on the exhale, relax the right arm down. Let that bring you back up to the center. Now you can scoot forward just a bit and bring your blanket with you or whatever cushion you have. And you can turn to your side so that you're facing that long edge of your mat. Both feet are over to the right. And take a little twist to the left so that you can bring your left hand to the wall about the height of your chest. And you can press the right knee or the right hand into the left knee. Or if you'd like, you can put both hands on the wall. Now feel your hips stay heavy here, like they're anchoring you into the ground. And with each inhale, pull your hands down the wall without actually letting them come down so that your chest lifts up, the shoulder blades slide down the back. And as you exhale, you can press the hands a little more firmly into the wall and twist your chest a little more to the left, maybe looking over the left shoulder if it feels okay for your neck. Let's take 2 more full breaths here. Inhale, slowly unwind. And you can lean back onto the hands to rotate around to face the other side of your mat. So now knees pointing to the right. And you can take your left hand to your right knee and take your right hand to the wall. And every inhale, grow a little taller, the hips anchoring you down. And each exhale, finding a little more twist. Remember, you can place both hands on the wall if that feels best. And even though you're holding in this posture, feel the movement each breath brings. A little more length as you breathe in. A little more twist as you breathe out. One more breath. Now inhale, unwind. And you can face the long side of your mat. You can take your blanket out from under your hips, move it over to the side, and then you can scoot yourself really close to the wall. And you can have a bolster close by. You may or may not use that in just a bit. And now we're going to lean onto our side with the hips already touching the wall. And from here, slowly swing the legs up the wall. And you might even scoot your hips in a little bit closer to the wall. So first, just having our legs straight up, you can flex the feet. Make sure that your head and neck feel comfortable. If you'd like, you can put a blanket underneath your head if you're feeling a lot of pressure in the head. So now let's take the left foot across, or the left ankle across the right leg, so that your legs look like an upside down 4. And you can stay here, or you can deepen the stretch for the left hip by slowly sliding the right heel down the wall and letting the left shin come a little closer to your chest. Keep breathing as though you're breathing directly into this stretch, into this space that you've made through the left hip. And continue to mentally and physically follow the release of your exhales. Clearing the mind, softening any tension that arises in the body. One more breath here. And then slowly release the legs so they're both straight up the wall again. Both ankles are flexed. Notice how you feel from side to side. And then bend your right knee and cross your ankle over your left thigh. You can reach the right knee toward the wall. And if that brings a stretch to your hip, you can stay here. If you want a little more stretch, you can slowly bend the left knee, slide your heel down the wall, and stop when you feel a comfortable stretch through the back of the right hip. And breathe into that space. One more breath here. And then slowly release, extend both legs up the wall, and bring your arms very close to the sides of your body. So your fingertips might be running into the wall here. If so, you can bend at your elbows and have your palms face each other. And either way, press down through your upper arms to tuck your shoulder blades very close together underneath your back. Now really dig your heels into the wall so that they won't move as you now start to bend the knees and lift your hips into the air, taking more and more of your weight into your upper body, into the back of the arms, into the shoulders. The bottoms of your feet might press all the way to the wall. And now you can take your hands to the back of your hips for a little more support, maybe even walking the upper arms a little closer together. So you can let your hips rest into your hands. Or if you want a little bit more elevation here, you can walk your hands to your ribs. And with either of those options, you can play around with taking one foot off the wall at a time, or if it feels comfortable and easy to float both feet off the wall at the same time, you can come into a full shoulder stand, or also known as candlestick when the hips are more so in the hands rather than the hands to the ribs. Either way, you're getting a lot of circulation boost being upside down. Make sure that in either of these variations, your head stays centered. And breath is still smooth and steady. And the shoulder stand is believed to help balance the hormones, so really important in the postpartum phase as the hormones are still adjusting, returning to their normal states after having your baby. Take one more breath here. And if your feet are away from the wall, bring them back to the wall. Slide the shoulder blades out from underneath your back and slowly lower your hips down. And you can let your hips stay resting on the ground with the legs stretched straight up the wall again. Or if you'd like, you can lift the hips and bring a bolster or some other cushion underneath the hips so that you get a little bit more of that inversion, very calming for the mind. And give yourself a moment to wiggle around as needed and make any little adjustments that you need to make so you can be comfortable and relaxed for the next several minutes. And take some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let go of the day. Let go of all of your efforts. Soon, even let go of the effort around your breath. And just let your breath flow in and out at its own natural pace. Feel free to stay here with me as long as your schedule allows. Or if you need to get going, you can slowly roll to your side and take at least a breath or two on your side before you come up to a seat. Otherwise, stay here, stay relaxed. And let your mind ride the waves of your breath. Be aware of the sensations within your body. Notice all the places where you feel very light and spacious, perhaps even a tingling in the feet or the toes. And notice all the places where you feel really solid, very connected to the ground. Perhaps a sense of heaviness in your relaxation. And take one more breath here. And begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And you can lift your hips if you have a prop underneath you, and just move that prop off to the side. And as your hips come down, you can bend your knees and roll to one side. Let your head rest in the bottom arm like a pillow and take a breath or two. And then slowly make your way up to a seated position. And you can sit with your back against the wall or away from the wall. It's up to you. And take a moment to just observe how you feel. You can leave your hands resting in your lap, or if you'd like, you can place the palms together in prayer in front of your heart. And just take a moment to feel gratitude, appreciating this time that you took out of your day to honor your mind, your body, and your breath. The light within me honors the light in all of you. Thank you for practicing today.